So my husband is a Marine and he had to leave home for 2 months. And when he got back home, I asked him about his trip. He told me he had to stop in this little town because it was getting too late and he was getting tired. But every hotel he tried to check in was full, and when he finally got to the last hotel, he had to beg the manager for a room. The manager didn't have a hotel room for my husband, but he told my husband that he had a double room with one occupant and it was a Navy guy. The manager also told my husband that the Navy guy might be happy to split the cost of the hotel room. But the thing is, the Navy guy snores so loud that the people in the other rooms have complained in the past. But my husband told him that it'll be no problem. He doesn't mind sharing the room with the Navy guy. The next morning, my husband came down to breakfast looking like he slept like a baby. The manager saw him and asked my husband how did he sleep. My husband told him that he had a good night's sleep. The manager was impressed, so he asked my husband was there a problem with the other guy snoring. My husband told the manager that there was no problem because he shut the guy up in no time. The manager asked my husband how did he do that. My husband told the manager that the Navy guy was already in bed snoring when he walked in the room. So he walked over to the guy, gave him a kiss on the cheek and said, "Good night, beautiful." And after that, the Navy guy sat up all night watching my husband. Every time my mom and dad wanted to make love, they would make me sit out on the porch with a popsicle. This happened every Saturday, and they didn't even know I knew what they were doing. But anyways, just to buy them more time, they also made me report on all neighborhood activities. That means I literally had to sit on the porch and yell out anything anybody was doing in the neighborhood. As I sat on the porch, I licked my popsicle, and then I yelled, "There's a car being towed down the street." After I said that, it was over with. I started calling out everybody's business. A dog just got hit by a car. An ambulance just drove by. Looks like the Johnsons have company. My friend Brody is riding a new bike. Looks like the Joneses are moving. Jason is on his skateboard. And after I got done yelling all of that, I looked at our next door neighbor's house. And then I finally said, "The Coopers are making love." That's when my mom and dad rushed out of bed. And then I heard my dad yell, "How do you know they're making love?" Before I answered that, I licked my popsicle one last time. And then I said, "Jimmy Cooper is sitting on his porch with the popsicle." Last weekend I went out to eat by myself, and I always eat at this same restaurant. But I wanted to try something new, so when the hostess sat me down, I politely asked for a menu. As I was looking through the menu, I noticed something was off. The food had no prices next to them, and this was the first time they did this, so I was a little bit confused. So I just sat there and waited for my waiter to come to my table. And when he finally showed up, I asked him how much was the chicken Alfredo. He looked at me and he said, "Today it'll just be a penny." I was shocked. I said, "A penny? Okay, well how much for a steak?" The waiter said, "Oh, that'll just be a nickel." I had this smile on my face, and then I said, "Okay, well if I ordered a steak and some salmon, how much would that be together?" He looked at me and then he started smiling. He said, "Oh, I might just give those to you for free." Boy, I got so excited. I said, "Are you serious?" Then I said, "Where is the man that owns this place? Because I'd like to shake his hand." The waiter took my menu, and before he walked off, he said, "He's upstairs with my wife." At that point, I was confused, so I asked him what was he doing upstairs with his wife. The waiter just smiled at me, and then he said, "The same thing I'm doing down here to his business."